it's really taboo to talk about domestic violence, especially in Bali with Balinese women. They don't want to talk about the violence they experience, sexual abuse. They don't want, and it's really actually it's really hard for us to discuss about it. But we try like we have in Bali Sruti, for example, we have sekolah perempuan or women's school. It's not like school have building or teacher. No, in that community, we discuss about politics, violence for the vulnerable women.
Hi, I'm Patricia Kathleen. I travel the world with a mic in hand and questions to ask, and this is where those conversations live. My guests and I get into everything: work, identity, creativity, purpose, the big stuff, the messy stuff, and the stuff that actually matters. From alleyway chats to studio sit-downs, I bring you with me as I talk to chefs, scientists, artists, activists. Whoever around me has a story worth hearing. Wherever you're listening from, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Now let's get into it. I'm sitting down today with Gusti Ayu Andani Pertiwi. She's the secretary, one of the secretaries of Bali Sruti. Thank you so much for meeting with me. I do appreciate you. Who founded Bali Sruti, and what was the event, or why was it founded? What was the reason for founding it?
Okay, so the founder of Bali Sruti, was founded by Ibu Lohriniti Rahayu. She's an election commissioner. Ibu Sita Van Bemelen, a gender studies expert, and also Ibu Lo Kusumawati Abirupa. So what even make Bali Sruti? Actually, at first, Ibu Lo working as a commissioner, right? So as commissioners, she realized that it's really hard to meet 30% quota of female legislative join in politics. And then, uh, in fact, she could become a commissioner because of 30% quote affirmative action policy. So she felt a strong responsibility to give back to encourage Balinese women in politics. Yeah, and then and beyond politics, she also saw so many gender inequalities, especially in workplace area or in family, and these experiences inspire her to take action. Together with Ibu Sita and Ibu Lo Kusumawati, they founded Bali Sruti.
So the three.
Yes.
And that was in 2004.
Yes.
So the impetus, the reason for starting it was kind of like their life experiences of experiencing inequality and wanting to encourage that. So as I was researching Bali Sruti and looking into it, I find it to be kind of wonderful because it addresses Balinese culture without trying to fight the. So one of the beautiful things about Bali is that it insists on retaining its culture.
Yeah.
And so this addresses that without changing it. And so to that end, I want to get into three terms that it would be helpful for everyone to unpack just looking at Balinese culture. So I'm going to say all three, and then I will define them in the way that I understand them, and I would love for you to clarify that for me. So the first one is hukum adat, and that is the rules and taboos that govern the island's population, and specifically each village in the island has different adat. They have different rules that can change a little bit from village to village. The second one is perusa, which is a child in the family. It can be male or female, but it's traditionally the male children, and it's the one who carries on what's called the family obligations. Okay. The third one is pranana, and that could be a male or female child, but it's traditionally the female, and it's that person that marries out and moves away when they married to that person's family. So the first one I would love for you to clarify is hukum adat. How would you change what I said in regards to it's the taboos or the rules that govern the villages? Is that true? Is that how you would define it?
Yeah, well, actually, adat is simply we can say every places in Bali have their adat. We call it the Sakala Patra. It means every places in Bali have their own rule for their places. But yeah, I think it's true.
Okay.
Okay, for there.
So, getting into Purusa and Pranana, these things are important because this is where gender gets assigned, but it's also flexible. Because if a family has one female, one male, that makes sense. Each role gets assigned. But if a family has all daughters or all sons, then the role that is traditionally given to men, Purusa, gets assigned to a woman and vice versa if it's all men.
Yeah, yeah.
But traditionally, it's handed to a man, Purusa, correct?
Yeah, but I want to explain a little bit more. Actually, it's really hard to explain Purusa and Pradana because it's cultural thing. Purusa is we always mostly interpret it as a man, but actually Purusa can be a man or a woman, but they will carry out their own obligation, and they will carry like an heir. They will be an heir to their planning, the family.
So when you say family obligation, that means staying in the family home,
Correct.
and that means taking care of all the things that come with the family name.
Yes, correct. But it can be a man and a woman. But mostly, women as Purus is uncommon thing in Bali. So Pradana, well, meanwhile Pradana, it can be a man and a woman who, after their marriage, no longer have obligation in their family, previous family, and they will have their obligation in the spouse family. So, yeah, still, a man who can be a pradana is uncommon thing in Bali. That's why mostly Purusa, we Balinese always interpreted Purusa as a man. That's why man has like a privilege their room. And I think it leads to gender inequality in Bali.
Yeah,
Yes.
because the role of maintaining the name is maintaining the property, the
right.
political power, the financial power. Those are all captured in that.
Yes.
So while it can be a man or a woman, if you had a Purusa that was a woman, she would be looking for a Pranana that was a man because he would have to come live with her.
Yes.
And because, so traditionally, if women in Bali get married, they move to their husband's house. And I think that that's something that is what we're setting up with these two terms.
Yeah.
So Purusa is the man who stays at the house, and the wife is Pranana, and she comes to the person's house. So there's a division of holding the power with the money, the name, the title, and then there's also the person that has to move away and actually absorb another culture.
Yes.
Because villages, like if you have someone from Ubud that marries someone from Canggu, and she's from Ubud and she comes down to Canggu, the two different villages have very different cultures.
Yeah, yes, correct.
And they actually have different dialects that
Yes.
they speak it. And she's expected to learn that dialect, use that dialect, and absorb that culture, assimilate.
Yeah, for example, like me, I'm from Karangasem, but married to Sesetan in here. It's different culture. And the language in Karangasem, we have to speak in polite language, Balinese language, and we have like different stuff of the language in Karangasem. But in here, it's so different. It's so it's like culture shock for me, and I need to learn more about the language in here. And I mean, like Balinese language in here is so different with Karangasem because in Karangasem polite, and in here not so polite. Okay, and then I need to learn about Banten. We call it Banten. When Balinese ceremony, we offer Banten to the god, and I need to learn that because it's so different from Karangasem, and it's kind of culture shock at first.
Yeah.
Because in 1 month there will be like more than 3 ceremonies in here. Meanwhile in Karangasem, I'm not really active because I'm still single at that time. But in here, I need to like the Balinese ceremony.
Yeah. So it's different, and I think that's the first thing that people, when they're looking at Bali, overlook or don't understand is Until 1970s, there wasn't even a Balinese language. There was Indonesian, and then every single village and tribe had their own language.
Right.
So it was so many to learn and absorb and things like that. And I think that that's crucial to understand. Like when you're looking at the power shift, you have someone who has the name who's carrying along the hereditary, the heir line, but they're also carrying the money, the culture that gets shared next with the children.
Yeah.
And so a Balinese woman who's following that traditional cultural tract is expected to, if she doesn't marry someone in her village, learn a whole new culture when she chooses to marry.
Correct.
So that's another undertaking.
Yeah.
And then you have a whole new family that you're living with as well, which is an interesting thing. So we've unpacked that. What I'm interested in Bali Sruti is with the gender equality, when you start looking at in our current times, the outreach, the goals of outreach, the goals of talking about gender equality, you have communities that you look at, you talk to academics, you talk to future politicians. One of the goals is to encourage women to go out and become involved in politics,
Yes.
to vote, to run for office, things like that. What outreach programs do you do? How do you get the word out there when Bali's kind of based on villages?
Oh, okay. Actually, in our program, we combine conventional activism and digital activism. We're still doing like a face-to-face meeting to do like trainings, workshop, or socialization in campus or anywhere. But after that, we share our activities to our social media to reach wider audience. So social media really help us to like people will know they like Bali Sruti has this activity. Because if we just do conventional activism without doing digital activism, without sharing it to social media, people don't know. People will don't know our activities in Bali Sruti. What is Bali Sruti? They don't know, but we need to do like share it to social media, and until now it's still working.
Is social media helping? Are enough Balinese people on social media that you're able to get the word out?
Yes, true. Social media really help us to like reach them, to like educate people through social media. We every week we always like doing live Instagram and podcast in our studio, and then we share it to YouTube. That really help us to like so people know our activities.
I want to shift a little bit here. So, part of this is due to my own perspective and definitely not something that is culturally written about Bali. But Bali has a reputation for being peaceful and kind. They've been, and this is arguable, but when tourism talks about it, there's been this incredible push by the government to insist on traditional Balinese ways. The children are required to learn things from their traditional things at school, and simultaneously allowing like this tourism and this moment of tourism to happen while still retaining traditional ways. And so encountering Bali from that aspect as a tourist myself first visiting, there's a lot of peacefulness that happens with it. So when I first started looking at Bali Sruti and someone looking at gender equality, frequently cultures that are known for being kind and peaceful have a very intense aspect of don't discuss it if it isn't. So when you get into issues of domestic violence or anything like that, it's already taboo amongst the culture. So therefore, discussing it is even more taboo, right? Coming forward, there's very frequently very few institutions that will discuss it, things of that nature, because it's already seen as something that's very inappropriate for that culture. So I'm wondering with Bali Sruti, have you looked at that? Does the company have like an outline? How would you say the domestic violence, if there is any in Bali, is being handled? Are there avenues or outlets that women and children can go to discuss issues of domestic violence?
Yeah, that's correct. It's really taboo to talk about domestic violence, especially in Bali with Balinese women. They don't want to talk about the violence they experience, sexual abuse. They don't want, and it's really hard for us to discuss about it. But we try like we have in Bali Sruti, for example, we have sekolah perempuan, art women's school. It's not like school have building or teacher. No, in that community, we discuss about politics, violence for the vulnerable women, restrict women. So we try to maybe like talk personal, talk face to face, because if they don't want to talk about domestic violence in community, they don't want. But we try to talk like domestic violence face to face, just two of us, like that. That's the only way to talk about domestic violence with them. But still, we try to give socialization in community about domestic violence. You don't need to be afraid to talk about them. It's okay. It's normal. That's normal. Yeah, like that.
So, is there anything set up in the village system, in the the adat, like anything that happens where women or men can go and speak to like an elder or someone that they can say, this isn't really working out if they have a problem? Is the Balinesian culture set up? Can you speak to your parents about it? Can you speak to someone in like a counselor or something like that, like a wise person in the village where you can come and say, I've got this problem. A young married couple starts off. Everything's always supposed to be perfect. It doesn't work that way. Like who do they talk to? Just their friends, just their family when they have problems?
Oh, okay. I think it's really hard for them to talk to activate, even with the family, and mostly with family. But they will keep it.
They will
Keep it. Yes, mostly they will keep it because it's like spreading bad rumor. If everyone know that they experience domestic violence or sexual abuse, something like that, so they mostly keep it or just go to the police.
Yeah.
Just to like report the domestic violence.
Have you had women reach out to Bali Sruti that say, I heard about you and I need to talk to someone about this. I'm having issues in these areas and I thought you could help me?
So many in our Instagram, but yeah. But again, they would talk like privately. They don't want to be exposed. They just want help me. Just help me, but don't tell anyone. I see for help like that. So they come in Bali Sruti, but they don't want to be exposed. They don't want to talk to everyone. Just one person in Bali Sruti. He's like that. So it's private thing.
Yeah. I think everywhere it is. And that's getting communities who are being hurt help. That I think the reason why it is so prolific, abusive systems, is because there's a shame attached to it for the victims. And the punishment of that is, outward social shaming. The first avenue, if you're going to help someone who says, I'm suffering from domestic abuse, any kind of domestic abuse, is the first line of help to educate them? How do you provide resources? Do you tell them about their legal rights? Do you put them in contact with anyone? What is the first line of help?
I get the first line of help is like we will ask them, what do you want me to help you? There, do you want me to help you to go to the police or just simply educate your spouse maybe? Yeah, we ask them what they want to do.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have the social media and then you have the traditional campaigning. And the traditional campaigning is literally, I'm assuming, going into villages and talking with people.
Yeah.
So when you enter into a village to just educate and let people know who Bali Sruti is and what you offer and things like that, do you set up a meeting? How do you do that?
Yeah, we set up a meeting in one places and in village we set up a meeting and they come. Yeah, they come like more than 30%, 30 people. Like yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So there is interest every step of the time. And that's it. I think in every area it's social media, but also the traditional setting up a meeting, doing a face-to-face, letting people know you're there, other resources that you have. As far as your funding and affiliations, a nonprofit, a non-government organization is so difficult and so hard. I've never met a country that it's easy to set one up in, and I don't know anything about setting one up here.
Yeah.
So, how hard is it to establish one, and what does it mean for your funding?
Okay. Actually, it's really hard without funding. But in Bali Sruti, we don't actively seek funding. We still operate with our own funds. I mean, the director funds. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we use like the networks. So, for example, if we want to educate people with our social media, we do like live Instagram, and I will be the interviewer, and the speaker is Bulu Networks.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. But since 2022, there's funding. The name of the program is Education Program. It's from Australia. But before that, there's no funding. So gradually, the former member of Bali Sruti, they left to pursue their career, getting married, or because there's no salary in here. So there's no human resources in Bali Sruti. Now, fun fact, Ibulo had planned to close Bali Sruti in 2020. But then I come to Bali Sruti. I came to Bali Sruti at that time. I joined to Bali Sruti, and that Ibulo had no idea what should we do with young member, only one. And then Ibulo had planned to just do like Instagram, just educate people with our Instagram account. And then because face to face meeting were not allowed at that time because of the pandemic. But
Yeah.
yeah, after that there's the pandemic.
So, who found the sister company in Australia to get the funding?
They found us.
They found you.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, they found us. It's a G2G program, government to government. Actually, the program is to a big NGO from Jakarta, and then the NGO from Jakarta, they want us to join the program.
Like an umbrella, like
Yeah,
existing underneath all
Yes,
of that.
correct.
I see. So, when people have you been contacted by people? If someone was a tourist in Bali and someone who was very passionate about gender equality and wanted to donate like their time or money, would you have a way for them to be able to volunteer or donate because it's such a cultural thing and it's Balinese women speaking to Balinese women on a lot of these efforts? It sounds like it's not a good thing for a tourist or a foreigner to do. But as far as contributing financially, that can be done on your website.
Yeah.
But what about other like volunteer opportunities for non-Balinese people to contribute to Bali Sruti?
Yeah, we are so often for the foreigners if they want to volunteer in Bali Sruti. Actually, there's student from Bali. I mean, like from German. They text us and they send an email in Bali Sruti. They want to like do intern in Bali Sruti.
Right. I was thinking about internships.
Yeah, internship in Bali Sruti. But I think she still needs to fix the administration thing in there. Yeah.
So you're open to it.
Oh, of course.
If someone wants to pitch you, they need to come up with an idea and you're going to let them volunteer with you.
Yeah, of course.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of people. I've speak to a lot of charities, and there are a lot of international students that are very interested in working with NGOs in other countries and starting that up themselves instead of you having something they can join saying, great, what do you want to do for us? You want us to create more of a website? What do you want to work with us with? But any help that people can do, I think that's cool to be open and say, pitch us, we'll do it.
Yes, correct.
And you are open to receiving help.
Of course.
From people.
Bali is really always open for foreigners, for local. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the future plans? 2025. Do you have a 5-year plan? How does Bali Sruti look at that? Is it a 1-year plan, 2025 to 2026? Or Niapi to Niapi, as it were, But what are the plans for what you're doing? Is it just keep doing what you're doing? Is it growth? How does that look like?
Okay, for this year, we always set up our 1-year plan. Okay, for 2025, we're still doing the program, inclusive program, and of course, we want to be more active in social media, not only Instagram, YouTube. We want to be active in YouTube. That's why we make our studio. Then
Yeah.
yeah, we want to interview more people so we can be more active in our YouTube social media, especially in social media. We want to like make it bigger and to reach more people, not only in Bali but also not in Bali, in Indonesia or Western countries. It's okay.
Yeah, Southeast Asia.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everywhere reaching out. I think it's happening for everyone and it's crucial to do. That kind of global relationship
Yeah.
is really important. I'm interested, for me personally, I'm very invested in future change. And I think a large part of it has to do with a lot of what Bali Sruti is invested in, with like educating and encouraging
Yeah.
women to get into politics, encouraging them to vote, encouraging them to play a role in that. And I'm wondering if, like, does Bali Sruti have any current goals about like educating women? Like before elections, do you have moments where you send out social Instagram saying, everyone, please go out and vote? Telling women what they are voting, like what's being voted for, rules and customs and things that like actually help with them knowing what's being voted on.
Okay. Yeah. Of course, before election, of course, Bali Sruti always have like a seminar for women who wants to join politics, or yeah, seminar about politics. But I think recently, because the only one who's active in politics, only our director, with the background politics, me not no, and the other member no. I don't know for the future because Ibulo, I think, yeah, um, maybe she needs to retire from politics, but maybe still give like educational politic educational for women who want to join politics. But 5 years, 10 years after this, I don't know. Yeah,
It's time. Time is happening.
yeah.
The founder, one of the three founders, is an academic, and speaks about gender equality and things like that. This current headquarters is based in someone's home. Is it one of the three founders?
Yeah, Ibulo.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I just wanted to draw that connection together.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a rare person who would be able to be involved in gender equality and host the house out of. Is Bulu married?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, and so that's kind of a different Balinesian relationship.
Yeah.
She's hosting not just ideas of that nature, but her very home is the host
Yeah.
of that idea, and those efforts. Does her family, is she considered very different because of those goals in her Balinesian family, or is it?
No, it's normal. Because in Sesetan, the gender inequality is not really, it is. It's not like gender inequality. I mean, like equality and gender inequality is not really like it's not really hard in here. I mean, like there's no gender inequality in Sesetan. I mean, like maybe in another place is still, but in Sesetan, I didn't see it. Yeah, that's why when Ibulo, yeah, hosting like Bali's routine here, it's not weird thing.
No,
Yeah, no.
it's considered
Yeah,
fine and normal.
yeah, fine.
Excellent. So the future is looking towards ramping up your social media, encouraging the international dialogue, the Indonesian dialogue, then maybe Southeast Asia, then maybe the world,
Yeah.
and doing all of that. Is there anything that I haven't asked about that you're looking at focusing on?
Actually, the thing that I'm focusing on is about collaboration. We still want to do collaboration, not only in Indonesia, but also international. And this collaboration is really good for us because as our name Bali Sruti, Sruti means voice. So we still want to speak up about a Balinese woman. So I think this is good collaboration between me and you.
Yes. I
To
do
speak
too.
out about Balinese, the situation of in Bali and about Balinese women.
I feel fortunate to have found you. And I did it just by searching women's groups in Bali. You know, it was a Google search, but I was like, I want to talk to a women's group. And there are some charities here that deal with impoverished children and different things like that. But groups dealing with women, you know, directly for me affect children because I have yet to hit a culture where women and children are not hand in hand. And so I love the educational aspect and the growth. I'm so glad it didn't close in in 2020. I want to clarify one thing. So there is no salary made by anyone working for Bali Sruti. It'd be cool if that changed.
There's a salary. And fun fact, I'm the her daughter-in-law. That's why in here is like, yeah, that's okay. Even with a salary, it's okay.
Yeah.
And also I'm a PhD student. So my interest is in gender, women's issue. That's why I want to be here. Still want to be here in
Yeah.
Bali Sruti. Even with a salary, that's okay.
That's wonderful. Well, I'm glad for you. I'm glad that you have the mother-in-law that you have. And I'm glad that she has you because I think that keeping it going is crucial.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sitting down with me. I appreciate you. Thanks for listening to Borderless. I hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you like this episode, please subscribe so that you can continue to hear fascinating conversations as I continue to wander the globe. You can follow us on Instagram at borderless-podcast or head over to our website, borderless-podcast.com for more info and updates. This episode was produced by Patricia Kathleen Productions, and a special thank you to the team that makes it all happen: Cherie Ternate, Emma Baker, and Finn Wild. Wherever you are in the world, I hope our conversation made you feel a little more seen and connected. Until next time, take good care.